You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
You're now listening to the Sports Coma's Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q, your host. We got DC co-hosting via Skype. And we're going to cover this very nice game that we watched yesterday. The New Orleans Pelicans were able to knock the Houston Rockets in the head, 115-113. Of course, not to blow or toot my own horn, but I did call that game. I gave confidence to the Pelicans this time around. And, of course, we're going to get into it. So, without further ado, bringing DC in. How you doing, my boy?
Can't complain at all. You seen that game the other night?
Yes, I did. And we're going to give a round of applause to the Pelicans for that win. And to the fans and people out there and our supporters out there that are joining us today on the Pelican postgame report. This is podcast 141 on this January the 27th, 2018. That's right. And like I said, in today's podcast, 141, we'll cover with stats, facts, breakdown, and interviews. The Pelicans win over the Rockets, 115-113. We'll have Alvin Gentry's commentary as he chimed in at the post game. Anthony Davis also chimed in at the post game. We'll also speak about in today's rundown, brought to you by the www.thepashlifestyle.com. Not just a website, but a lifestyle. So check them out. On the rundown, we'll go over the injury report for the Pelicans, all of the injured Pelican players, including the newest one who joins the injured list, and he's done for the year, y'all. That's right, it's official. That Anthony Davis's running buddy, DeMarcus Cousins, has a left Achilles tendon. The tendon is completely severed, which means that his season is over. And usually an Achilles injury of that sort usually takes anywhere between 6 to 10 months of rehabilitation.
Wow,
so
that's crazy.
A massive blow for the New Orleans organization. Winners of 4 in a row. Winners of 7 of the last 8 and rolling. Big wins, historic victories. DeMarcus Cousins breaking records all over the place. Anthony Davis. And
10-4 in January, man.
Excellent play from the Pelicans. We'll also get into that. Then the next thing, of course, now that we digested that massive issue, the next thing is what happens next? What's the next shoe to drop? What do we do is the question that a lot of the Pelican faithful want to know. What do you do? And we'll talk about that. Maybe some of the guys off the bench, perhaps, that we've been talking about all season long, maybe it's time for those guys to get some more chances to see what they can do. So, but we'll talk about that. And then on the back end, in the second segment, we'll preview the upcoming match Sunday night in the Smoothie King Center against the LA Clippers as they come to town. Blake Griffin and Austin Rivers makes his return here as well. So without further ado, let's dive into a very spectacular game from start to finish. 115-113 affair. In the game, as the Pelicans' top scorer was Anthony Davis with 27 points. DeMarcus Cousins had a triple-double day. Of course, he finished with 13 rebounds and 11 assists. And the Pelicans did masterfully, had 66 points by halftime against the 53 points of the Rockets. They were shooting them out the gym until the Rockets started catching fire late. Kudos to the Pelicans. They did not collapse in the third quarter. They scored 24 to the Rockets 27. They were cognizant, but the Rockets went on a tear in the fourth quarter and ultimately brought the game very close with 33 points. The Pelicans held to their second lowest total of the game, 25 in that quarter. New Orleans handed Houston their first loss of the season when the trio of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Clint Capella are all in the lineup for the Rockets. Prior to the loss, Houston was 19-0, so that's very encouraging. The Rockets were held to just 12 of 36 for 33% from three-point range. That is also very spectacular. Usually a weakness of the Pelicans to defend the perimeter shot, not this game. Trailing 35-34 with 9:29 remaining in the second quarter, New Orleans closed the half on a 32-18 run to take a 13-point advantage into the break. The Pelicans opened the second half, outscoring Houston on the 12-4 run to take a 78-57 lead with 6 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the period. Largest advantage of the game was that 78-57 lead. Houston crawled back out. They crawled back in the game, outscoring New Orleans 23-12 to cut the deficit to 10 points heading into the final quarter. Trailing 104-96 with 4 minutes remaining, Houston scored 8 unanswered points to tie the game to 2:36 remaining. 5 unanswered points for the Pelicans made it 109-104 with a minute and 52 seconds remaining. But the Rockets punched back, scoring 5 unanswered of their own to tie the game at a minute and 17 seconds. New Orleans then made one final stand, scoring 4 unanswered points on 2 straight possessions to push the lead to 113-109 with 15 seconds remaining, a lead that Houston could not overcome. That ultimately served in the final 115-113. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes and the discussion on the game, we got Coach Alvin Gentry.
Go getting hungry again, huh?
Yes, indeed. And here's he's going to speak about DeMarcus Cousins' situation. And even though he had a big win, but we had a big loss as well, losing DeMarcus Cousins, Big Boogie. So here's Coach Alvin Gentry with his take on that.
Alvin, can you update us on the status of DeMarcus at this point?
This is Achilles. He'll get an MRI. We'll know the severity of it tomorrow. And I can't we just know that this is Achilles, so we won't know the damage and what's going on until he gets an MRI tomorrow.
How tough of a blow is that, considering how you all played tonight and finish this game off?
Tough. I mean, you lose, one of your key players, and it's always, really tough. But, we just got to keep pushing on. I mean, obviously, he was an integral part of everything that we do, and to beat a team like Houston and he's playing great basketball, and they pissed CP off by not putting him on the All-Star team, so he took it out on us. So, I just thought it was a real good win. We played great basketball, and then they went with a smaller lineup that switched everything, so it slowed us down a little bit from the standpoint of playing with the pace that we wanted to, but we still found a way to come away with a win, and that was the biggest thing.
Does it give you an indication of what this team could be? You guys can compete with the best teams in the NBA when healthy.
I mean, we thought that anyway, and as I said, we played against the Golden State Warriors and had big leads and couldn't finish the game. And tonight, we took a step in the right direction by having a lead, giving it up, but then finding a way to win a game. So I thought it was fun.
I mean, can you speak to the fear, I guess, going through this team and not knowing with DeMarcus?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you don't, he's extremely important to us. So yeah, we're scared about it, and I feel horrible for him. Everything that he's done and what he's tried to do this year for us, and what he's made himself, and the improvements in all areas that he's made. On and off the court, it's just been great. So, I don't want that to happen to a guy that's, trying to better himself, and all of a sudden, like I said, I hope it's not anything, that severe, but, when it's Achilles, you just never know. So, yeah, all of our guys feel terrible about it.
Alvin, can you update us on the status of DeMarcus at this point?
This is Achilles. He'll get an MRI. We'll know the severity of it tomorrow. And I can't just know that this is Achilles, so we won't know the damage and what's going on until he gets an MRI tomorrow.
How tough of a blow is that, considering how you all played tonight and finish this game off?
Tough. I mean, you lose, one of your key players, and it's always, really tough. But, we just got to keep pushing on. I mean, obviously he was an integral part of everything that we do, and to beat a team like Houston and he's playing great basketball and they pissed CP off by not putting him on the All-Star team, so he took it out on us. So I just thought it was a real good win. We played great basketball, and then they went with a smaller lineup that switched.
That's Coach Elvin Gentry chiming in. As you can see, he was quite somber with that move. Like he really, really low energy interview from Coach L.
It's kind of hard to get excited with DeMarcus Cousins hurt, man.
Right, but this is the thing, though. Mostly you kind of temper your enthusiasm, but at the same time you temper your depression. Not so much on the tempering of the depression, to try to see, okay, brighter days ahead. You know why brighter days ahead? Because we got Amir Asik off the bench, and we have a new group they call the Amir Asiks in the bench. Okay, that's the new group. We're gonna have to utilize this group. Okay, now obviously it's somewhat of some satire, but what you think about it, DC?
Well, I would think the lead singer or player would have to have been and had at least a few solos.
Omer.
Yeah, before they just go on tour. I mean, has he even had vocal training?
Let's not get twisted. I
heard the band and played. The band and played before the game. A lot of times, I seen the band playing. But I ain't never seen Amir, man. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Okay, so let that satire aside. Let's dig into this. Okay, we'll talk about the really crushing blow of losing DeMarcus Cousins.
Right,
it's obvious. One of the overlying fact over this game. Okay, you beat the Houston Rockets in a regular season matchup. Now you go 1-1 so far in the 2 games that you played this team. In the long run, that really means nothing because, Boogie, when you want to see this team in the playoffs, because you might see this team in the playoffs. If you get to the playoffs, you damn sure going to see this team in the playoffs. And you need all of you guys. Losing DeMarcus Cousins now, the way they did toward the end of the game, was hard. Now, what do the Pelicans do? Let's move into this.
Left, man.
Trying to tip in the ball. And that's the thing that you're looking at the box.
And he made a play, man. He made a play, too.
He did. The Pelicans in this game, they played pretty well. They shot 46%. 53%. 53.7, might as well 54 if I round it off. 54% versus Houston's 46. They shot 41% at the 3-point line versus 33% by Houston. So they outshot them in the field, through the 3-pointer line. They even actually had they hit 16 to 21 for 76% from the free throw line, where the Rockets were 29 to 34 for 82%. They out-rebounded the Rockets. They out-assisted the Rockets by 14 assists. They out-rebounded them by 9 assists. They pointing the paint. They dominated them in pointing the paint, 56 to 38. And they did have 16 turnovers in this game, but for 20 opposition points forced Houston's hand. 13 turnovers for 21 opposition points. So they basically neutralized that advantage. And then the box scoring, not to take away from everybody else for the Anthony Davis, they had more of a balanced stat line versus what Houston had when they were perennially dealing with Chris Paul, who was having an outstanding night, 38 points, 8 rebounds. They had James Harden's really pedestrian 23 points for James Harden. He was 1 of 9 from downtown. Yeah, 11 assists. 27 points from Eric Gordon off the bench. He was the bench. And then if you look at the stats for the Pelicans, Anthony Davis, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 blocks. Then you had behind him, Drew Holiday, 21 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Then DeMarcus Cousins had a triple-double, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists in the game as well. And he had 3 steals. He leads the teams in steals. He also is the team leader in steals. That's a big fact that nobody really knows. Etuan Moore had finished with 13 points. Darius Miller off the bench had 20 points off the bench, 6 of 10 from downtown, 6 of 11 from the field. He was excellent. And that's all of the scores that were in double figures for the Pelicans. Of course, moving forward and looking at this obvious.
Can't forget about Liggins, man. He dropped the crucial 8 points.
He did.
He didn't quite make the double figures, but those 8 points were critical, man.
They were critical because he was perfect in this game, and I mean perfect, statistically perfect. He played 19 minutes in this game. He was 3 of 3 from the field. He was 2 of 2 from downtown. He had a couple of assists in his game. He had pretty good rebounds, one really big steal in his game as well to finish with 8 points. And we've been yelling to the top of our lungs for them to get this guy an opportunity to play. You know, so now that we see him in here, now that DeMarcus is hurt, we need to start paying attention to who we got. Because I mean, they say trade. Oh yeah, let's work out a trade. But who do anybody in the league want that you have that's not a part of the big three? You're not gonna move Etwan Moore. You know, he's a major part of what you do. You're definitely not going to trade Darius Miller because you really like what he does.
I think you could trade Etwan Moore if you're getting something of good value back.
I don't know.
I don't think.
I don't know. But that's all you have outside your assets. But I tell you what,
Darius Miller can't go anywhere, man, because what he's doing is very hard to find.
Right. Well, listen, we just hold that thought. We're about to go back on it. We're about to go into our first break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we'll get more into that. So hold that thought. We'll cover other topics, what we do with DeMarcus, what we do without DeMarcus, and we'll preview the other game on the other side of the break. And listen to Pelican Post-Game Report. Stay with us.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the poshlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
You're listening to the Pelicans Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
That's right. Welcome back to the Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. We're going over the spectacular New Orleans win 115-113 over the Houston Rockets at the Smoothie King Center Friday night. Sold out crowd, 18,000 plus in attendance to watch that game. Big ups to everybody come out to enjoy such a wonderful game. But then toward the end of the game, the heartbreak with DeMarcus Cousins. We'll delve into that in just a second. We're going to play Anthony Davis in just a second, let Anthony Davis' thoughts, because it's pretty interesting to know what his thoughts on what happened with DeMarcus Cousins after the game, to see his friend land on the ground. And basically, when most Pelicans fans seen that, him laying on the ground with his heads on the ground, his hands on his head, we knew that this was going to be one of those situations that this could change your season dramatically. Now it's a two-man game. And the question is, what do they do? It's going to be very difficult for you to replace the 25 points a game. It's only several other guys in the NBA that's scoring more points than DeMarcus Cousins. 7 of them. We have one of those guys on the team. His name is Anthony Davis. Those other guys are guys like the Greek Freak, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. I mean, you're talking about the NBA's elite here that's just above DeMarcus, averaging 25 points a game, 12 rebounds a game. It's just amazing. He even leads the team in steals. He has 5.4 assists a game. This guy does it all. That massive amount of production will be missed. So it can't be made up by one guy alone. You're going to have to do a team effort. But before we delve into that, we're going to let DC speak his mind. But first, let's hear what Anthony Davis had to say after the game.
What do you kind of feel like?
No, I haven't had a chance. I'm not sure. I didn't see the play. So just waiting to hear.
What does it say about this team to be able to match up against the Rockets and come out again and win in this kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, we just keep fighting. At the end of the day, no matter who's on the floor, we want to compete. I think guys stepped up. DeAndre especially. Putting pressure on James and Chris, and just making it a little bit difficult for him. Other than that, guys, stepped up and both ends of the floor and were able to come out with this win. It's a great team.
You just mentioned DeAndre. For him to be able to contribute the way he did, he also made a couple big baskets as well. What did you think about the performance overall?
Play well. I mean, he's known for the defense, and he's did a great job tonight. And then, when he able to throw in a couple threes as well, make some plays offensively, it's a bonus for us. So, try to keep it going.
How would you describe maybe the mixed emotions of seeing this lineup coach so brilliantly and win a game like this at the same time, not knowing what the rest of the season holds for one of your main guys?
No, just keep going. That's all we can do. It's a great win, but we're not sure what's going to happen with DeMarcus, so we just got to keep going. I mean, they got up, honestly. We can't, keep our heads down and just pray. I mean, you just got to move on to the next game Sunday and try to go out there and do the same thing.
And how frustrating is that? I know just how close this thing looks to be.
Oh, yeah, we were just getting it. We were just figuring everything out. That's the tough part. Like I said, man, we just got to keep going. We got to keep going and just keep finding a way to win. Keep doing with our defense, but we're more than capable of doing something.
There you go. That's DeMarcus Cousins' buddy Anthony Davis chiming in saying, they asked him, what do we do? And AD shrugs his shoulder and says, we got to keep going. We can't stop, man. We're on a mission, and we lost a guy, and the team has to step up, and we just have to keep playing to the best of our abilities. And I agree with AD wholeheartedly with that one. Let's go to DC now. DC, what are your thoughts on what Anthony Davis says, and your thoughts on the DeMarcus injury period?
I think I wouldn't expect him to say anything else, man. That's what he's supposed to say. That's the mind frame you want to see the leader of the team in. And they definitely have to keep going because even with DeMarcus Cousins out, you still have a talented enough roster to be able to contend and make the playoffs. And who knows, man, what happens once you get there. So AD is definitely going to have to shoulder a lot more responsibilities and take his game to the next level. Well, maybe not the next level, but he already next level. He's just going to have to do more. He's already doing a lot, so I think it's going to be putting a lot on him. But we need to get a lot more of these guys on the bench, man. Like you say, Ashik in the bench, definitely got to play Cheek Diallo. You're definitely going to have to play Omer now. Everybody should get some time. We have competent players on our bench. We need to see what they can do. Now is the time, man. I mean, you can't hold nothing back and try to go with a certain favorable lineup. You have to give people a chance now because you have a big hole in DeMarcus Cousins, man. So that's all hands on deck. Ain't no one player going to fill that.
You're absolutely correct. The bench scored 39 points.
That's good.
Against the Houston Rockets. They actually outplayed their bench. And that's a good effort. And Liggins tossing in 8 very important parts, like you said earlier. Darius Miller with his 20 points as well. We still got 3 other.
Liggins, a guy who wasn't playing. This is probably the second game he played since he's been here. Why are we not playing this guy?
I don't understand why. You got to ask the Elvin Gentry one about that one. Also about Check Diallo. What could Check do for you? I think Check could do he can do what Dante Cunningham's is doing. I mean, I don't think Cunningham's doing anything that particularly well where Sheik Diallo can't see any minutes. So, I mean, Sheik Diallo, Amir Isaac, these guys should be showing at least some minutes. Amir Isaac is the backup center. He has to see some time. And then you look at guys, you may mention off break about Mike James. We don't know what Mike James could do. We knew what he did from Phoenix. But you can't tell me that Mike James can come in and do and be one of your quickest penetrating guards that you don't have. He could be what Jermaine Nelson used to be when he was young. He could be a penetrator, and he could also knock down a three. It's mind-boggling why I don't understand why he's not getting in not 2 or 3 minutes just to see what the guy looks like.
Right. I mean, he's a complete wild card, man. What if this guy comes in and he plays at a starter caliber level or from the bench? You know, you're out there against other teams' second unit, and he's going to see a step down in the level of, defense that he normally sees. I mean, you don't know what you can get from him, but I have to chalk it up to maybe they're acclimating him to the system. In basketball, I don't usually see it really taking that long.
Are they acclimating Sheik Diallo and Amir Isaac to the system?
No, I can't make no excuses for that.
All right, okay, I know. Let's move.
Albert Gentry likes point guards, so I mean,
you don't like this one because the man got a 10-day contract. Good God, when you gonna finally play him on the final day of his contract? I mean, let's move forward here. Let's talk about some more stuff. What's the next shoe to drop?
They're gonna be signed. He ain't going nowhere.
Well, I mean, obviously, they're going to get another exemption because DeMarcus Cousins is done for the season, according to reports from ESPN. According to the website, the Pelicans.com website says that he's done for the season because you can't get more official than that. What's the next shoe to drop here based on a limited amount of cap space, the limited amount of personnel that they can actually move? I don't think anybody wants Dante Cunningham or Jameer Nelson or Ian Clark. You know, maybe outside of Davis and Rondo,
Moore is pretty much the only guy.
Etwan Moore, maybe Darius Miller, perhaps somebody is, could see something in him. But would you finagle with those guys? Would you remove what is? I wouldn't put nothing past Demps. But what's your opinion on that?
I think we definitely make some type of move, even if it's just a bunch of signings with unsigned guys. Like, we're gonna do a lot of shuffling, I think, there. Hopefully we make a trade. Like a guy like Etwan Moore, I think is a guy other teams will want. If you're looking for a good guy to come off the bench or a nice shooter that could possibly start at a shooting guard, I think you could get something for him. What you could get, I don't know. Maybe you free up a cap space. Maybe we need to start thinking about next season and make moves that will put us in a position to grab a potential free agent to take the team to the next level next season. Or they can go the opposite route and start thinking about trading draft picks and stuff like that.
I'm against that. I'm severely against that. I'm severely against that because, I got a general manager that's on a do or die situation. This is he either get the team where they go. No, you had we for the last 3 years we put up with it. The third year, the last 2 years, injuries. This year, injuries, and you've basically run out of time. The call was made by the administrators to keep these two guys, meaning Demps and L. Gentry, in place. Solidarity reasons, despite the fans' outcry, it was no doubt about it. The temperature of fandom, of Pelican fandom, wanted L. Gentry out of here, and they wanted Dell Demps, who hired them, to go too. But Don Benson made the call to keep both of those guys in place, and now they are in the skillet burning. And then we're gonna spend another minute on this topic before we move on to the preview of the Clippers matchup. But this is the thing I'm saying. When we talked last night and when we watched the game Friday night, and we heard about we seen DeMarcus Cousins go down, and you said that don't look good. Your comments was, and we got 2 minutes to discuss this, was blow the team up. And I was like, blow the team up. Explain your thought process to the fans about what you was meaning by blow up the team. It's interesting what you were saying. Break it down.
You keep your core, man. And a lot of these guys would be Drew Holiday, AD, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay, so you give Cousins the deal.
Yeah, okay, everybody outside of that is expendable. You could use that template to try to build for next year. Like, whatever they do this year, to be honest, I mean, are we gonna beat the Golden State Warriors this year? No. The best we could possibly hope for is in the first round of the playoffs, that we make it out of the first round. That's pretty much the best we could hope for. You know what I'm saying? Other than if AD's going to turn into Michael Jordan all of a sudden. But my comments were basically based on that, to build the team, I guess tear the team down this year, to build it up way better next year than what we have right now. Because we have a lot of bad contracts. And if we dangle some of the players we have in front of some people, maybe we can get rid of some of these bad contracts by giving up, I guess, what looks like some of our quality pieces away from our core.
Absolutely. It might be, if the team is one and done in the playoffs, it could be the same result. You know,
even Drew Holiday, man, you could think about him being expendable.
That was the one that you put up in there that I was like, what? You would trade Drew Holiday? And we spent, you know.
I wouldn't want to, but I mean, what's the best for the future of the team? You know, I don't think AD or DeMarcus Cousins would like that very much. But what can you get back for him? You know, and how does that set your team up for the long term?
It's hard to say, because based on, you know, the thing is, when you got two embattled people like Gentry and Dell Demps on basically playing for their coaching and executive lives for the franchise, I don't want to give them the power to give up future assets when they might lose their jobs, and then the next guy coming to be severely hampered because of the foolishness and the idiocy of what the rest of these guys were doing here, and Demp's dumb contracts. But let's kind of move past that, because we're running out of time. Right, that's true. Let's move past that. Let's get into this Clippers matchup. The Clippers are coming into town. Of course, the all-time matchup, the Pelicans lead that matchup 27-24. The last 5 games, Pelicans are 3-2 against this team. The last 10, they are 4-6 against this Clipper club. And, of course, the loss to the Clippers back in 2010 snapped the 14-game winning streak against the Clippers, dating back to April of 2007, which had been New Orleans' longest streak against any one opponent. So the Clippers stunk for a long time before Chris Paul got there. New Orleans clinched the first ever Southwest Division championship against the Clippers back in 2018, and with a 114-92 win at home. New Orleans held the Clippers to 8 assists in that game, fewest assists by any opposing team in franchise history. New Orleans also won 7 of the last 22 meetings with the Clippers. In their first meeting of the season, DeMarcus Cousins scored 35 points to go along with his 15 rebounds and 5 assists. Anthony Davis chipped in with 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and a couple blocks. Drew Holiday added 18 points. Blake Griffin scored a team-high 26 points for the Clippers in the first meeting with New Orleans. DeAndre Jordan had 12 and 14. Former Pelicans guard Austin Rivers scored 19. He was on fire in that game. The Clippers forced 23 Pelican turnovers in the meeting, back on 11-11, resulting in 33 points for Los Angeles. Elvin Gentry, of course, he's 17-9 against the Clippers. Doc Rivers 20-14 against New Orleans. So, and a lot of connections too between these franchises. El Gentry was the head coach of the Clippers back in from 2003, had amassing a horrible record of 89-133. Gentry was also assistant coach for the Clippers during the 90 and 91 season, was associate head coach under Doc Rivers for the 2013-2014 season. So these guys know each other. DeMarcus Cousins, DeAndre Jordan were post teammates on the 2016 Olympic team. They both won gold medals. Austin Rivers was drafted by the Pelicans back in the 2012 draft, appearing in 165 games, averaging 7 points and 2 assists a game. Pelican assistant coach Fred Vinson held the same position with the Clippers from 2007 to 2010, as did Robert Peck in the same capacity. Pelicans, Sheik Diallo was originally selected in the second round by the Clippers before being acquired by New Orleans that draft night. Jameer Nelson and Clippers Danilo Garnario was the teammates in Denver. Pelicans assistant coach Chris French was a member of the Nuggets coaching staff during the 2016-17 season. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers coach for the guards Rajon Rondo and Tony Allen in Boston. All three were a part of the 2008 championship team. Pelicans associate head coach Darren Urban began his professional coaching career on Doc Rivers' staff in Boston. So with that said, let's move into the meat and potatoes of the matchup, in which
don't hurt yourself, bro.
In which the New Orleans Pelicans average, of course, 111 now. Of course, we expect these numbers to drop, and they're giving up 110, 48%. And they're shooting 48.5% from the field, rebounding 43 rebounds per game, 26.5 assists, 5 blocks, 7.5 steals a game. Winners of 4 in a row, 8-2 in the last 10 games. Wonderful stats. The Clippers coming into this game, they are 24-24, 10-13 in away games, 107, might as well say 108 points a game. They average, give up 107. They shoot 46% from the field, rebound about 43 flat. They average about 22 assists per game, 5 blocks a game, 8 steals a game. They won 1, and they're 7-3 in the last 10 contests. So let's get it straight. The Clippers 7-3 the last 10 contests, even though they just came off a 3-game losing streak. They lost to Utah, Minnesota, and Boston before beating Memphis Grizzlies by 9 on the 26th. So going into DC, we got about a minute and a half left. Give me a prediction on this game. Who wins and why?
I think the Pelicans go ahead and take this one. And the reason I think that, I think they're looking at their comrade who fell in DeMarcus Cousins, and they're going to be motivated to come out and continue their strong play. Huh?
Win one for Big Cuz, huh?
Yeah, man, I think they definitely win this game because just riding on that emotional roller coaster, feeling the ups and downs of that, down because he's gone, but up because you want to win for him. So right. I definitely think they go out and take that game against the Clippers. It's going to go down to the wire again, be another nail biter.
Okay, well, this is the rock. We're going to give you the Pelican post-game report, injury report. Alexis Jinka, of course, we know about his right knee injury. Tony Allen's left fibula fracture. DeMarcus Cousins now on the lift with that left ankle, left Achilles rupture. Solomon Hill, left hamstring. Tim Frank Jackson's right foot fracture are out. And Charles Cook is a G League transfer who's not active in this game. The probable starting lineup coming to this game for the Pelicans, Rajon Rondo, of course, at the point. 2 is Drew Holiday, averaging about 18.7 a game. Rajon averaged about 7 points a game with 7 assists. And then the small forward, of course, Etuan with the 3-guard rotation. Etuan Moore is there with 13 points a game on the thing. And then Dante Cunningham slides into where Anthony Davis is. It was supposed to be that where we know this is predictable. This is what L. Gentry does. He goes small of anything. He goes small. Dante Cunningham is probable. Will start there, averaging about 5 points a game, 4 rebounds. Too small. Then Anthony Davis, of course, he slides to the number 5 position. I don't like him to play that position because that's a position usually he gets hurt. Right, he gets hurt a lot when you play him at the 5. Gentry don't understand, but he's desperate. Of course, Anthony Davis, 26.5 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, of course, we got about 30 seconds left in the podcast. My prediction is I'm going to rock with the Pelicans. Of course, Pelicans as an organization have had a pretty good run against the Clippers at home. I expect them to continue the trend. Of course, win this game and keep it moving forward. We won't see the effects of DeMarcus Cousins' injury really until a few games after that when the competition starts getting a lot thicker. So thank you for listening.
We got a whole starting lineup on the injury report there.
Yeah, we do. A lot of stuff. So hopefully some of those guys can make it back.
The whole team, man.
Yeah. But thank you for listening to the Pelican Post Game Report today. Please go and support our sponsors in the descriptions, link below. And once again, check out our show every Monday and every Friday on our social media family, Twitter, Facebook.
Forget ESPN
Thank you for listening.
Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out the PoshLifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. PoshLifestyle.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide, offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.